Are you here for the pet-themed art meditation class today? Oh, that's great. My name is Bridget. I'm going to be guiding you through the meditation. It looks like everyone else has already arrived, so why don't you take a seat? We'll get started. Alright, so we are going to be doing a pet-themed art meditation today. And what does that mean? Well, hopefully you came with a pre-printed photo of a pet that you want to draw. I have one here myself. So I'm going to be doing my cat today. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be tracing this image onto a piece of paper. And we're going to be making something like this. Okay? And I'm going to be guiding you through how to do this. And we're going to be trying to kind of sit with ourselves and participate in some meditation. So, how many of you have done an art meditation class before? Okay, not many. Alright, well, let's talk about what is art meditation. So, art meditation is about the process of creating. It's not about creating a perfect product. It's about being present in the moment. It's about slowing down and sitting with yourself and creating something. And when you do this, it can help reduce your stress and anxiety. It can even help you detach from your thoughts. And again, just be present in the moment. So, I know for some of us who it's our first time, or some of us who don't feel like they're very creative, it can be really difficult to create. You get focused on creating something perfect or what the next steps are. So I'm going to be here to help guide you through that process. And we're going to be creating something really cute with our pets. And it's just going to be fun. And then if you want, you could even hang this on your wall or something. Alright. So, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we need a way to transfer our image of our pet onto our paper. And if you're using a thinner piece of paper, you could just place this image underneath, place your paper on top, and then trace. Unfortunately, our paper is a little bit higher quality. It's a little thicker, so we can't quite do that. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to trace the outline in pencil and then kind of scribble on the back to transfer that image onto our paper that we're going to be drawing on. So let me get a pencil first. So, as we're doing this, we're just going to be doing the main outline of your pet and the important features. So, for my cat, I'm going to focus on his outline. I'm going to focus on the shape of his eyes and his nose and his head. And I'll leave the rest to the creative process when we get there. Don't be afraid to kind of put a little bit of your back into it to get a nice thick line, because we need to have enough pencil mark to transfer onto the other paper. And if you're really creative, you could just draw an image of your pet, but for many of us, that's kind of a difficult or stressful thing. So this is an easier way to do it. gotta do the chin still. Alright, so we've got that done. Now we're going to take our books. I'm using my art meditation journal, as you can see. And we're going to flip to a page. Alright. So, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take our paper. We're going to lay it down where we want it. Okay. And then we're going to scribble. Along where you trace the lines. It's really faint, but it's there. Can't really see it that well from far away, but that's okay. Alright. So, let's set this aside. We're done with this. Now, let's get out our marker. Alright, I'm going to be using this Posca black pen, but when you're at home, you can use whatever you want. You could use a Sharpie, a ballpoint pen, whatever you have. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to trace those pencil outlines. And I'm realizing I forgot to do the ears, but that's okay. I'll draw it in later. And this is a reminder that this doesn't have to be perfect. you're lucky, you might actually have the star of your art up here. Alright, so here's what we got for mine. I messed up on his nose a little bit, so I decided to color it in. And that's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. I actually also forgot to do his inside of his ears, so I'm going to do that really fast. Okay, here we go. Alright, so here's my kitty. He's got a big black nose, but that's okay. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do before we get started is we are going to pick out the colors for what we're doing. I like to do this in the beginning because then we don't have to sit and stress and overthink about what do we want, what do I want. So I'm going to be using these markers. But you're welcome to use whatever you have. Alright, so for this, my recommendation, but you're welcome to do whatever you want, is to pick some colors that are going to go on your pet. So like, for example, in my preview, I did yellows and oranges, and then pick some colors for the background. So I'm gonna do a green for his eyes. I'll do green for the eye. I want to do some pink for the ears. 2 pinks. Okay. And then I liked the blue background on that one, so I think I'm going to do that again. Okay, so we're going to pick these 3. Kind of blue and teal. We've got frost blue, aquamint, pothos blue, and pale blue. And then we're doing a pale green, a mauve shadow, and a pale lilac. Okay. And then for the inside of my cat, I want to do some colors that are more realistic to what he actually looks like. You don't have to do that. So I'm going to do milky white, pastel peach, beige, buttercup yellow, and pearl white. That's what these look like. None of those sound like very orange colors, but they're not very white when you get them on the page. Alrighty. So, we've got our supplies ready. let us begin. Alright, so now we're going to actually start drawing and coloring. So, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw some flowy lines and draw them however you want. Try not to extend all the way to the edge of the page unless you want to. So you can make yours like mine, kind of make it more like a portrait. If you want, you could take some tape and you could take the border of your picture and you could color in all the way to the edge of the page. For my preference today, I'm gonna try to do like how I did on the first one. Okay, we're gonna take our marker and we're just gonna flow. And my recommendation is to kind of avoid the eyes of your pet, but otherwise just let it flow wherever you want. Alright, here we go. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna, if you chose to do a portrait like mine, we're gonna connect all the lines in kind of a big blobby circle. And if there's any lines that aren't connecting, let's go ahead and connect them to something. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna add some pupils to my cat. There we go. That's better. Yeah. He needed some eyes. Alrighty. So I'm gonna try to do less talking here. And I'm just going to encourage you to just take the colors that you've already selected and just flow. Just be in the moment and just enjoy coloring and watching our pets take life and become beautiful and colorful. So feel free to start wherever you want and color however you see fit. Alright, so hopefully you're done with your coloring. I'm really happy with how mine turned out. It looks like a stained glass. So now we can continue to meditate and focus on our art by adding some doodles. So you can see here in this one that we did some doodles on the outside, and then for my cat I added some whiskers. So to do this, we can use a white pen, or you could use a black pen, whatever your preference. I think I'm going to be using the white pen, and I'm going to start by adding some whiskers. Alright, so now I'm just going to do some little Zen doodles, and feel free to do whatever shapes or patterns you want, whatever you feel like. Now, if you want, you can add some doodles to the inside of your pet. It's up to you. Alright, well, I am done with my pet doodle. I decided to not do the white doodles on the cat. I wasn't sure what would look best on it, and I think it looks good as it is, so final product. And I hope that you are happy with the drawing that you did. And I hope that you are feeling relaxed, at peace, and that you've learned some skills from this class that you can take home and do yourself. You know, we did our pets in the middle, but you could just do squiggles. There's lots of different options. So I hope you have a good rest of your day, and thank you so much for joining us.